Quick test. Okay, welcome back to the final match here at the Heston Hyde Hotel, and what a cracking match we've got lined up. So it's the final of the professional event featuring two of the finest players in the world. First of all, let's introduce our referee, Scott McMillan. So our first finalist, it's been a while since he's been in a final, and it's Jason Rimington. Jason, it's great to see you in a final. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has, yeah. Well, 2014 last time won one, so European Open. No, it's nice to be back in that circle again, but yeah, it's been a good weekend so far. Just hope we can go one more. Just play as well as we've been going so far, like we played really well. And
that was a superb performance in the semi-final against Gareth. 7-4 down, and to reel them last four under tremendous pressure, you must be really pleased.
Yeah. I mean, it put me through the mill a bit, which you'd expect, 2016 world champion, Gareth a bit true gent, top guy, good player. Good match. From 7-4 down, I was just hoping to get chances, and I got chances, but I took my bottle at end and happy with how I played, so yeah, enjoyed it.
And your opponent in the final, somebody who you know very well.
Yeah, I know Clint. Yeah, I've known Clint for years. We've had some battles on tour and local, like we're from the same area. But no, we've had some good battles. He always tends to go down to the last frame, so we'll see what happens today. Try and get one over him.
And he's probably the form player that probably last 2 or 3 tours, 2 victories. You're in for a really tough battle.
Oh yeah, without doubt. I mean, Clint for me is probably this year definitely. He's been the man to beat. He's been so consistent since been doing that cup break. He's just been taking people apart. So, but I mean, he's always a good player before he sort of got the cup break. He just weren't really getting the chances he deserved, type thing. But no, he's a tough match player, and be a tough game. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, we'll play well in the final, Jason. Jason Rimington. And looking for his third title in his third tour, it's Clint Jansen. Clint, I'm running out of questions to ask you because this is just getting a bit too regular, and the great form just continues.
Yeah, I'm glad you're running out of questions because you ask a lot of awkward ones. So, yeah. What was the question again?
The great form is continued.
Yeah, I've been practicing a lot, so I think that's what it is. And like Jason said, I've been using the cup break, and it's been working really well for me the last probably 3 or 4 months. So I've been potting off the break, getting the first chance, and I've been taking them. So tough to beat when that happens.
And a tough match against John McAllister. We had that on the second stream camera, and it was a classic match.
Yeah, John's a very good player. He's a bit of a bogey player for me, to be honest. I've played him quite a few times. I think I've only beat him once or twice, and he's probably beat me like 4 or 5 times. So I'm happy to get one over him. So.
And is it a problem for you playing like a good friend in the final, in Jason, or someone who you know very well?
No, not really. I still want to win, so that don't change. But no, I'm really pleased for Jason to get to the final because it does mean a lot for him. So.
And a lot of the fans watching on the stream back home in Nottingham.
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot tuning in. Yeah.
Okay, we'll play well in the final, Clint. Clint Jansen. So it's a race to 8 frames. It's the final match of the year. Settle back, relax, and enjoy. 2 great players. I'll hand you over to Simon Webb in the commentary box.
Right. Hope you're all still with us. And here we go again. Final match of the IPA Tour season. We have got World Series later in the year, but for the Tour, this is the final match. So me and Kev will talk you through to the conclusion. We are whispering because it is very quiet in the arena. And Clint's won the lag and is breaking. Hi Kev, how do you see this one going?
Well, Clint is no doubt the favourite. Jason hit the nail on the head. He has been the form player, particularly the last three tours. He's going to be hard to stop, but Jason's one of them players that he was 7-4 down against Gareth Hibbert and just reeled 4 off. I think if Jason can get off to a really good start and try and put some pressure on Clint, I think that is his best chance. I think if Clint gets 2-0, 4-2, I think I don't think Jason will come back. For me, it's whether Jason's final was getting to the final and whether he's still got that intensity. So it's going to be interesting. But he's been in the winner's circle before. It's been a while, but he's been there. 2014 European Open champion.
It's a lovely start, lovely first shot,
and that's a great start.
Yeah, I just think Jason he's just looked bang up for it all day. He's just looked confident, and I just think Clint's a favourite, of course, because he's the man in form right now. Just think there's something happening with Jason today, and it would not surprise me if he won this final at all. He was just trying to catch the red and yellow there. He's just missed it. So he's have to rework his route and go again. It's going to be difficult for him to get to that red and yellow. Is a real problem on the bottom rail, and it's going to be really difficult for him to get to it.
Oof, wow, it's only pace. Let that go in. Didn't cue that one very well.
Yeah, he's gone for that ball because he wanted to leave himself an angle to pot the one across the angle of the table, the length of the table, and now drift down into the red and yellow. Key shot now. He's missed it. That was tricky. That was tough. Well, Clint's got the same problem with that red and yellow. He can go into it from the one down the right rail, which is what he's looking at now, but the problem with this is he could push it towards the red on the bottom cushion. He may play this with quite a lot of pace. I'm not sure that's come out. It's like camera 4. Can he pot the one? Can he pot it? I think he can. I think he's good here. I think that's okay. So a couple of tricky ones on the rail, but he should get good, really good position on them because of the one over the left middle. He may choose to drop this one in the right middle, and when potting the one in the left middle, cannon the one above it, just to nudge it a little bit further up the rail while staying on the one down the bottom rail. A little bit like that.
Slightly the wrong angle.
He may take the one he's just nudged now. May, just if he can take that one and just screw back a couple of inches, he'd have a little bit more angle on the one down the bottom rail. Depends how awkward a queuing it is for him. No, he is going for the one at the bottom of the table first.
Just shows how confident he is.
Oh, absolutely.
No. Oh, how's that gone in?
Just rolled in off the near jaw. Really paid that at pocket weight. Helped, gave the pocket every chance to go in at the pace he's played it. but it was still a surprise.
I'd like to see that one again. These cloths are meant to make it tighter.
He's cued that in lovely as well. A couple of really good settling shots for Clint there. So, simple black for a 1-0 lead. Exactly what Jason didn't want.
Yep. It's going to be hard to stop Clint. He is...
I said after... I said this to himself actually, after the win in Coventry, that there are a few players on the tour. There's a few players that you look to be there or thereabouts at most events, but you've got if there's a handful of players that really almost think they should be number one. Mark Farnsworth is number one, but Clint, he knows how good he is, and he knows that he's one of the guys that should be really challenging for that spot. And a win today will be pushing him higher up the rankings again. I don't know if it moves him up to number 2 or not for next year.
Second frame, Rimington's break.
Rob Dean's going to donate 200k if he wins the lotto to help Blackball, help us develop. So that's good.
That's nice of him. Yeah.
So does that if he wins a tenner?
Do we get the same
do we
percentage?
still get the 200k? It's not quite.
He hasn't specified which prize he was going to win to get the 200k. Yeah,
he's not quite clarified that.
Dry break from Jason. He didn't seem to catch that one anywhere near as clean as the ones he was getting in the semi-final. Don't know if that's because it's the final and just a little bit tentative at this stage, but didn't quite catch that as clean as the previous frames.
Oh, Rob said no. That doesn't work like that.
That's a shame.
Can only ask.
He also hasn't specified what we're to do with that 200,000. Is that for a end of season committee bash or something?
Well, I think so. Yeah, I think it'll be for my Caribbean trips that everyone's telling me I'm having. So, well, I think with it being an R thread, an R IPA, it means IPA. I mean, the IPA is Blackball is the IPA, isn't it, really?
They can't hear me.
No.
So Clint's got one tough yellow. Can he play into that yellow from this yellow at the top of the table? And if he does try and do that, it's potentially snookering himself. He could end up behind those reds and not have a shot on after this, if that's what he's playing. Well, it sort of happened. He might be able to play yellow off red here. This would be a good shot.
Yeah. The thing is, Danny's said big pots will attract better players, more views and TV coverage. I have to slightly disagree. Yes, big pots will attract better players and more people coming into the game in the future. But at the end of the day, you're not necessarily going to get the viewers if you've not got the right end product. You've got to create something that people are engaged with and it's interesting and people want to watch. Just because there's a
great shot. What a great shot.
But look at the yellow.
No good.
Just because there's a big pot doesn't mean it's great TV. You've got to have all the elements correct, to create great events. You need great commentators who can build and create the atmosphere.
we could do a better job if we had a commentary box. Can you add that to the shopping list? Because having to whisper is hard to build atmosphere.
Yeah, and we'd do a probably better job if we got paid for it. but yeah, oh wow,
what a great effort! There was
just shows the confidence he's playing with. He's probably going to knock this in the middle bag now.
There really wasn't much angle for that shot.
So you and just to get something on TV, if somebody gave us £1 million tomorrow and we put something on TV, probably won't be the best use of that £1 million. Because if you put an event on tomorrow, people are not going to still know who these players are. So I think we have to be a bit cleverer in how we use any monies that come in to grow it in the right way. You can't really fast track these things. So it's all about awareness and getting all the right, all the marketing and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we need
involved.
We need to build an audience.
Yeah, that's right, Rob. The product is there, and it does just need adapting for TV, and that's when we go to the big bookmakers and potential sponsors. That's what we're selling. We're not selling what you see now in front of you. We're selling a vision of the future, and Simon at the side of me has designed various things that we have in our package, and they all love what we're doing, and they love what we can offer. It's just finding the right company at the right time, and I do believe it will happen. We have to remain positive and believe in what we're doing. I think we can all see it's heading in the right direction. Yes, we've got things that we still need to be better at.
Yeah, I think just touching on that, I think that's one thing that we're always learning and we're working on that. Oh, I thought he'd made that. He played it with control though, because he knew he was keeping Clint at arm's length. But yeah, we learn from those mistakes, or things we're not quite doing well. We listen to people. We're not set in our ways.
Yeah,
you're certainly not. You're always looking to push things forward and what can we do better.
Yep, and having two rule sets is not a hindrance. It is not a hindrance in my belief and my discussions to the sport going forward. We're the recognised body, and so that's who people will want to deal with. Because if they did have a problem with us, then there's a clear chain of command of who they can, people would want to go to. There's clear procedures and governance and all that sort of stuff. So the two rule thing doesn't have an impact in my view. At the end of the day, it is about a product. There's more than one chocolate bar. But if you're making Mars bars, you're selling more than some other brands. So you create something that's good enough, and the rest will follow. I mean, when we were dealing with corals, they weren't saying, "Oh well, we can't do this because you've got two rule sets." They weren't interested. What they want to know is how many people are going to watch your stream, how many people are going to bet, and how we're going to make any money. So. And all this sort of infrastructure stuff that we put in place in terms of the stream, the website. Sean Trivas, our PR guy, who's like knocking on all the national media's doors and
nice bit of queuing,
getting articles into national media. All those sort of things have a number and a value, and the more those numbers go up, the greater your value is. Because sponsors want a return for their investment. So. There's no quick fix, and we have to keep building. Our streaming figures have gone up 300% in 2 years, which is tremendous, but we can still do more. And if we can get them up 500%, 1,000%, then that means that when we're going into the conversations with potential sponsors, that they're really starting to take notice of the numbers now. And it just needs. I think somebody said earlier on the stream, it just needs a little bit of luck. It needs the right person and somebody just to say yes. And we thought we had that with corals. Unfortunately, we haven't. But there will be other opportunities. Let's cue that well. So
yeah, the key I think is to continue doing what we're doing, making the gains we're making, staying positive.
and you can create a sport that. Oh, he's missed that by a mile. You know, you can create a product that is entertaining. You know, look at darts. You know, if you break darts down, it's just two guys on a stage throwing darts at the same targets.
Yep.
But what they do with darts is fantastic, and it's you know, we all want to watch it, and there's no reason why we can't do something similar with pool. Don't get me wrong, I don't think we can ever be as big as darts, but we can certainly find a higher level than what we are now. So let's just see what happens over the next 18 months or so, and see what conversations we're having then.
That clever shot from Clint. Although if Jason can manage to get out of this snooker, he's going to put a bit of pressure on Clint. Although Clint's feeling so confident that he would back himself to make that yellow down the rail anyway.
So, sorry, just to come back, I'm talking about the national media, so I think it's a bit of a sarky comment saying the Daily Sport is not national media. Well, the Daily Sport has got an online readership of about 80,000 people. So all of a sudden, there's potentially 80,000 people who might be aware of the IPA than was before. We've been in other newspapers. We've been in the Independent. And so we've got an article in there. They've got about 60 to 80,000, I think, online viewers. Some of these other not national ones, but say local newspapers and their websites, they can have in the 40,000 readership. So all of a sudden, all these numbers are starting to add up. So you might belittle the Daily Sport, but that's just one thing in the whole grand scheme.
Clint's disgusted with that shot because he was just trying to cover the bag to put pressure on Jason to make something, but he's actually left a big pocket. He's left Jason something really... he's good chance to make this now. Like that.
Great shot.
Brilliant shot.
Top draw shot. And Clint's not happy about that. What a back double. Just the white stayed out. Let's Clint have his own little practice session.
Clint's just having a practice. You don't see this very often.
Well, he's played on the stream table about 5 times, so
yeah,
it's a bit late to be. Yeah, this is the final of the pro event, and there's hardly anyone there. That's right. I mean, we're not going to get spectators because people don't know who these people are, and the people that are here, the players, have all got homes to go to. It is what it is.
It's an unfortunate problem in the pool world. Is people, the spectators in the arena on a Saturday night are mainly the pool players, and they're not. They're all on the way home now.
But we're not going to attract an audience till we do get a bit more higher profile, and so that takes time. So Plymouth Pool is saying they didn't believe it's appropriate for the progression of the sport. Well, there's other sports on there apart from pool as well, so I'm not sure what that point is. But yeah, everyone's just got an opinion. But that's just one part of what we do. I wouldn't say the Independent is probably is ideal for our demographic, but it all helps when we're having the conversations. And Sean, the work Sean does behind the scenes, knocking on doors, is incredible. He's been knocking on doors for 2 to 3 years, and whilst he knows he's going to get knockbacks, he's trying to put it in their psyche so that one day the Sun might have a last minute article that they need to fill a little bit of space in, and somebody there might just think, oh yeah, I've had an article about pool.
Yeah, timing.
And we might get a couple of inches. So it's just a matter of we get a lot of knockbacks, but we're doing stuff that's never been tried before. So we're going to get knockbacks. So we just have to keep going and going and going. And Sean sends all the press releases to all the agencies, and some will take it and some won't. But it's putting it there, it's putting it out there and putting it in their mindset that maybe one day you might just get one of the red tops that might just put something on.
Good first shot from Jason's given him the opportunity for this finish, and they're all there now. They're really just got to make sure that the black doesn't go to the left middle, I don't believe. So the black's the only one he's got to be slightly careful getting on. You hear a lot in the pool world, Kev, of people going, "Oh, Paul needs to do this," or "Paul can't be this," and so on and so forth. But one thing that is never said, that you're leading the way with the IPA. You're leading the way for if Paul has a chance, it's through the IPA and it's through you. That's people have their own opinions, but I'm fortunate enough to see the hard work you put in, and as far as I'm concerned, that's absolutely true. And I believe one day there are players currently playing, and possibly players outside of the IPA that are going to end up owing an awful lot of their income to your hard work. So I'd rather people got behind what you did, and almost, even if it's a pipe dream, to be more supportive of it, really.
Well, yeah, we just have to. You're right. If it is going to get anywhere, it will be through the IPA, and I'm not. I think people think I've been disrespectful to other events that have been in clubs, but I haven't been disrespectful. I'm not intended to be disrespectful. But if it is to come, it will come through the IPA and what the IPA is driving forward. It won't come from big money events in clubs. That's great for the players, and they can earn some great cash, but that is not going to enhance the sport. What we're doing is enhancing the sport, and we're just going to keep on going. We're just going to keep on going and going until we get that lucky break. And I do believe if we get one lucky break, then the other things will snowball from it.
I think it's fair to say, there are decisions you've made, and the committee's made that the players haven't been, thrilled with. Not going into any specifics, but every decision that's made by yourself and by the committee is to try and enhance the sport and the game and push it forward. And the money events are, that they are more. That's more for the players, and they're great for the players, but they're not. Like I say, I don't think it will help the game go anywhere.
Well, it won't. It won't really. It's a nice payday for the players, and that's fine. But we've spent a lot of time, money, and effort, in building the infrastructure, and it's having that infrastructure in place that will put us in a place to get where we want to be. So whilst our stream figures are great, there's so much more that we can do to get more viewers. So we had a team meeting at Newcastle, and we've developed a strategy. So different things that we're going to look to try and do, different pockets of pool enthusiasts that we're going to try and target to increase the stream over the next 24 months. So we're always planning ahead. So it's an ongoing strategy, ongoing development. We're not happy with World Championships. We had ridiculous viewing figures, but we want more. And
it's amazing what a couple of frames can do for you. That break from Jason was far better than his first in terms of the power and the split he got. But unfortunately, he was dry again. So that's four breaks out of 4 are dry from these two players.
Just try and catch up on the chat here. Most people have got work next day, so that's why they've got to go home. And those people who've got a long way to travel. You don't see when Ronnie O'Sullivan's beaten in the snooker comp, you don't see him in the audience watching Mark Selby in the final.
No.
So pool players are exactly the same. So what we've got to try and do over the next, well, it's a longer term project. So 3 to 5 years is to raise the profile of the players so that people will want to come and watch them. And that is part of a longer term plan. But, it's obviously not going to happen overnight. Could the Saturday night not be a pro final? I'll let you answer that one.
Well, we've got we made the decision to go for the Open final. We can't do both on the Saturday, so it's the way we've decided to go. I think it's the right way. I think the Open is, we've got some of these events we had 240 players at. Everyone wants to be on that stage on Saturday night with, when there are more people in the crowd, and it's just unfortunate that we end up with a amateur final and a professional final on a Sunday that doesn't have anyone watching. But whichever way we did it, we'd end up with a couple of finals without money in the crowd at the moment.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch all of your answer then, but we have to have the amateur and pro on the Sunday so that there's no clashes. Did you mention that?
No, I didn't mention the clashes. Just you could do it. You could flip it round, but you end up with the Open final. Either whichever way you did it, to avoid the clashes. You can't have all finals on Saturday night. It just doesn't. You can't play the tournament backwards.
So could you not map out where the players are mainly from? Contact local papers. Well, that's what Sean does. He contacts all the local media in that area and sends them articles, and then it's up to the newspaper as to whether they print them.
Wow. And to highlight that point, Sean got us there was 4 or 5 of us went down for a radio interview with at radio commentary, BBC commentary, or I can't remember exactly what they're called, but yeah, in the
Coventry and Warwickshire.
At the last event. Just those sort of small things like that, they do make a difference.
I mean, I'm not sure how long we were interviewed for, but a good 8 to 9 minutes.
Yeah,
something
it was pushing 10 minutes for certain.
Yeah, to get that time on a BBC network, I mean, that is, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I know it's not Radio 1, but he's not hit that.
I think he's still got the total snooker, is he? Don't know whether I think it's the reds in the middle of the table are causing a problem here.
So things like that all play a part, all help, and it's nice. Although he can play good, can roll the one up the rail on the right and just leave the white. Leave Clint snookered. So Sean will, as a matter of routine, send out all the press releases to all the local media and national media, and then it's just in the lap of the gods as to which will take it. I always remember actually Jason Rimington when he won his pro event. I think he won the Open event actually, 2014, and Sean had. He got an article in, I think it was the Independent and the Daily Sport, but he also got it in 2 local newspapers near in Jason's area. And when you added the readership up of those newspapers, it was over 250,000.
Yeah,
and that's a big number.
Yeah.
So some of these. I don't know, Derbyshire Express, I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was in Nottingham, that final, and he's from Nottingham, isn't he?
Yeah,
so.
Nottingham Gazette or whatever
Yeah.
it was. They've got a massive readership. So, it's difficult, but he keeps knocking at them doors.
Right, how is Jason going to develop this red at the bottom of the table? I think he might try and snooker Clint again and hope to get a foul out of him. So he's going to try and snooker him now.
Yeah, I think this could be his last chance to get a good one.
Yeah, I think he will get a good one as well. I think it will take a bit more hitting than the last couple.
It depends if he's going to feather it and hit the cushion or bounce it off. I prefer the feather. That's a great shot.
He's not reached the cushion.
I thought that hit.
Scott was right there. I think it was one of those, you know, when it doesn't reach the cushion, but it sort of almost rocks back. I think that's what happened there. I was watching it with the naked eye rather than on screen, and I didn't think it hit.
Yeah. I think we might just be able to see that on a replay in a minute. Just wait till Clint's just potted these as we expect him to. Got a different, the wonders of technology. We've got a different camera angle that we can fall back on to see the shot.
Would have to call that an enforced error, and we're going to have to.
There it goes.
It's 2-2.
So let's just have a little look at this safety shot from Jason. He's had a little dab there, and it looks like it's going to reach.
See how it just rocks back?
And just rock back. Didn't quite get there.
Yeah.
So you see, the wonders of technology.
Both players have left the room and are having a good chat about it on the way out the arena as well.
So, why no tweets on the IPA Twitter account this weekend? Unfortunately, Sean, who does all our tweeting, couldn't make it this weekend. And so yeah, the Twitter has been not in use this weekend, so unfortunately.
Yeah, there's one of the things we need to do more of, and it's just, you know, time. We you know, one of the things we know we want to do more with, but finding time to do more with it.
Yep. So yeah, just the cloth. It's called Strachan 861. It was originally Simonis 861, but it's just been rebranded, and it's beginning to take over the UK. Lots of clubs getting it put on, and EBA, the European Blackball Association, they've now adopted the cloth from next year onwards. So if you're one of those players, one of the 600 or 700 players that goes to Bridlington, then you're going to be playing on that next year. Is it IPA or IPPA? Well, it's IPA for short. I think the full name is the International Professional Pool Players Association, but that's just too much of a mouthful, so we just call it IPA. Prize money, is it paid out on the day? Nope. We make all payments online, so it's all traceable, and we're not carrying bits of cash about, you know, a bit of cash in one pocket and a bit of cash in the other, like the olden days. So no, it's we generally try to pay out within a couple of weeks. Certainly not much gets done the first week because we're all just a little bit tired, and then then we start paying out usually the second week. We don't always have the account details for everyone, so there's always some that always take longer while we get the details, but that's what we intend to do. We openly admit this year we've not been very good with paying out on time, and you know, there's reasons behind that, but you know, they're being addressed, and next year it'll just be business as usual. So yeah, people want to have a go at us about that, and yeah, fair enough, but you know, some of it was a bit out of our control, but at the end of the day it's about moving forward, and yeah, we'll just address that next year. Neil's music bids, his local has just changed 3 tables from green to 861, and he's pretty sure the 4th will be 2.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we're hearing stories of this, you know, happening in a lot of places. So Why not make a deal with Barry Hearn? He'll make you millions in weeks.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Right then.
Okay.
We got your number?
Yeah, I was going to say, can you ask him for his number? You know,
If you've got his number, yeah.
you know, some of these ideas are, you know, they sound brilliant, but you know, there's the logistics of that sort of stuff, and you know, it's
it's a funny one. I mean, I can't comment about Barry Hearn. I mean, he's a completely different level. You know, it's not even in the same breath. But what? I don't know. I don't think. Well, we're not ready for that at all yet. But would he be interested? Would he? Has he not got enough on his plate? Earning lots from darts, snooker, boxing. Yeah, he does a bit of 9-ball pool, but would he want to take on another version of pool? Would that be a conflict? Would he be competing with himself? I'm not quite certain on that one.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Clint's not got the position he needed. He was trying to just play on this one at the bottom and just didn't quite get enough screw onto it. And he's looking at trying to bend it round and pot this, but this is very high tariff. He's got the red-black problem at the top of the table for Jason to negotiate. So it's not like a free run at this pot, but it's that's a big mistake though.
Danielis, he thinks the IPA is awesome. Been watching the last 2 years, all events. Excellent. Stephen Mitzi, what annoys us armchairs fans is that we realise how brilliant the action all weekend, how brilliant it is. We just want it bigger.
So do we. We're trying, we're working. You know, things don't change overnight. You know, we're making lots of small gains, and actually, I spend quite a bit of time going back over old footage, and I started in the Lakeside in, 2014? That was my first event, and if you go back and watch footage from that 2014 season and compare it to now, you know, you realise that's a mistake from Jason. You realise the improvements we've made, but when you're going through it and tour to tour, you don't notice it quite so much. We are going in the right direction. We just need to stay positive and stay patient.
Yeah,
and keep working.
And just get back to some of the core stuff that we need to get right as basic. You know, like paying people out on time. You know, we just need to get that back on track next year. So keep the base safe, and get the other things developed from.
But those are the things. You know, those are the things we learn from. You know, we've. You know, that hasn't gone well this year for a variety of reasons, which we're not going to go into too much. But you know, we've taken that on the chin, and we've learnt from that, and you know, the players are aware of the reasons, and we move on to next year with the plan to put that right.
Yeah,
which is there,
and it's a cheap shot for some people, and some people will have a moan about it rather than seeing the bigger picture. Well, yeah, that's up to them. But everyone's got a choice to make. Plymouth Pool, Blue Cloth, great decision. Superb stream, great progress. Betting partner Coral, great to have betting partner, but Daffabet probably a better choice. Well, it will be if they ever answer an email.
It's a nice shot from Jason.
The problem with betting partners, and I've probably said this before, is finding the right partner that's the right fit for them and us, and one that wants to take a project on. You know, you're not asking them to sponsor a small event. This is about a project taking us from where we are now to a completely different place. And you know, that takes resources for these companies. And you know, when we talk about finding the right company at the right time, it's the right company who's, they call it roadmaps, and you know that it depends where they are in their roadmaps, and delivering on them, and whether they've got the capacity to take on new projects. So again, it's just about trying to sell yourself more, knocking on doors, and waiting for that someone to open it and let us in. Need a venue in the southwest? Well, for anyone who's out there, if you've got a potential venue or you know of a potential venue, then just send us the details and we'll have a look. We're always looking for new venues, aren't we, Simon?
Absolutely. One of the trickiest parts of the running of the tour is finding suitable venues. Even when we find one, things change with those venues, and we're constantly looking for new ones.
Yeah, he mentions the Crown Plaza in Plymouth. Well, I think I've contacted them maybe a year ago, and the problem with most of these venues is the room hire charge that they want to charge you, and on average you would probably be looking at £3,000 to £4,000 per day. So bearing in mind we're here for 4 days, you can do the maths on that one, and they're just not viable. And whatever anyone, we are small fish in a big pond, and if we're here for 4 days, using their biggest function room, and some of the players will be spending a bit over the bar, but if they commit a year in advance to giving us that venue, that means they could potentially lose out on 2 weddings or 1 wedding, which in turn over time will actually blow us out of the water. So it's in theory, everybody thinks there's loads of venues, and I can tell you that there isn't. The best one I got, and it was just a bit of a laugh, but I thought I'll try it. Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah,
I've got this super duper function room.
Yeah,
and so I got the quote for 4 days. It was 59,000 plus VAT.
Yeah, is that not in our budget?
Well, I did think about it and thought, can we jiggle the finances around?
Yeah.
So what I came up with is that if we don't pay out any prize money for 3 events, then we could have done it.
So the players would be happy with that, I think.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, 59,000 plus VAT, plus VAT as well. Right, okay, this is an interesting one. How much has Simonis made from the IPA? Surely they should add to the pot now with all clubs getting this new cloth.
I think that's one for you, Kev. Don't look at me. I can answer it, but you're the man for that one.
If Simonis had not bought Strachan, you'd have been absolutely bob on. But the fact that they did, that caused us and Simonis a major problem. So yes, they're probably selling a lot of 861, but they're losing Strachan sales at the same time. So what they're losing in one, they're gaining in the other. So overall, their sales may not increase as a group.
Yeah.
So
certainly not as much as everyone thinks it will.
Yeah, you've got to think about the downside of what they're doing as opposed to the upside. So one of the dangers from that company as a group was that, so they've got they own the Strachan brand, so they've basically got the UK market, which is a napped market, if you want to call it that. So all of a sudden, this napped market that is nice, safe, secure business for them is now using a napless cloth, which is cheaper to produce and opens up new competition. So they could actually sell a lot of 861 but actually lose market share.
Yeah.
So as a group, for them, that is absolutely no good whatsoever. So so that was in their mindset. Oh, he's overcut that one by a mile. He's going to fluke one.
What a fluke.
Oh, that's the worst shot I've ever seen Clint play. What's he doing?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable shot.
It's not because I'm rabbiting on, is it?
I don't know if he can hear you or not. Maybe I'll ask Scott after this, Frank.
So the discussions with Simonis were very, very complex, because they actually were trying to talk us out of using the blue cloth, despite letting us use it, to trial for the World Series. So that's why the deal took a bit longer than we would expect to get in place. So I think I think when we come round the table with them again, middle of next year, when we looked for at the next contract, I think we'll be in a stronger position, because I'm pretty certain that there's no cheap imports out there, because the players will demand the right cloth. And the copies are rubbish anyway. I've seen them. They're absolute garbage. But that was Simonis' concern, that yes, they might sell a lot of 861, but overall as a group might lose market share. So I think with 18 months of evidence, we'll be able to have a better conversation with them, and a more informed conversation.
Can we just jump to camera 5? He's left
the skill.
He's left the skill shot on, and camera 5 is perfect for this.
So that's whilst it might look like there's a lot of 861 being sold, and there is, but that doesn't necessarily mean
this is a tough shot.
Additional sales.
Well played.
But we've worked with Simonis now for well, if you include the balls, because they're part of the same company as well. Yeah, we've worked with them for 6 years, so we're building a really good relationship with them. They like what we're doing. They're a huge company, and the fact that this huge company want to work with us.
I think we got the fluke again.
Yeah, I can't understand why I always miss that so much. The fact that they want to work with us is great for us, and shows the development and progress that we're making. And the fact that all these clubs are using this blue, and all these places that people are mentioning, we've not even promoted the cloth. We've not done any marketing. We've not. Simonis haven't. This is just what's happened organically, if that's the right word.
Yeah.
So,
the players that play on the tour have spread the word and said how much they like it, and requested it at their clubs, and that's sort of then it's grabbed a life of its own. I think it shows how much the players do like the cloth. Last ball rolling for Clint there, just rub in the last frame a little bit more, which will irritate Jason.
What's the importance of World Series? So I think that's one for you, Simon, as the World Series guru this year.
I think first of all, when you would start talking about the World Series, you have to realise how global Paul is, and how global Blackball Paul is specifically. Yes, we're a very UK-based tour. A lot of the people that play on it, the majority are all from the UK. But we need to be pushing our boundaries. We need to be worldwide. We've recently been to Tangier, been to Morocco, and when you realise how important the World Series is, it doesn't necessarily need to be in the form it's in, but it's important for us to be pushing our boundaries and going to these countries, because the passion and the scale of Paul in Morocco, and actually across the whole of Africa, is huge, and it would be foolish of us for us not to go there. For us to truly call Craig Marsh the world champion, we need our world championships and our tour to be on a world stage, and that's the World Series is all part of that. And it's more, a bigger market for us as well, in terms of, we were talking earlier about building an audience, and there is a big audience outside of the UK. So Clint moves 4-3 up with that break and finish. Made very, very light work of it after making the ball off the break, the last ball rolling. So Jason would have came to the last time Jason touched the table, he would have come to the table almost expecting to get a 4-2 lead. Next time he touches the table, he's going to be 4-3 behind.
My phone and tablet have died, so I'm not on the chat anymore now. So give me 5 minutes, folks, to
Yep.
get some power, and we'll get back to your questions. Keep them coming. It's great. Happy to talk about anything. Well, if we can answer it, we'll answer it.
Great break.
Where's the white?
Oh, second break on the trot. This time he screwed straight in off.
No, it got kicked in.
Did it get kicked in? Did
Got
it?
kicked in. Yeah.
For last time it got kicked in. That's it's really unlucky.
Yeah, that was kicked in.
Breaks have been completely against Jason in this match so far. Here we see a replay of the break.
So it's heading nice and safe, great. I'm just going to see this yellow knock it in. It's going to bounce off that and knock it in. Doosh.
Oh wow!
Look at that.
That's incredible. How unlucky is that?
But great slow-mo camera shots there. That is amazing.
That's really unlucky.
And down the drink.
Two breaks on the trot. He's been kicked in off really hard.
I like that slow-mo. We should save that and put it on the little montage. I think that's a good little... we need to promote ourselves a lot more, and the things that we do with the stream. And you know, those super slow-mos, I'm not sure we've ever seen in the sport before.
No, I don't think so. They are good.
Mm.
No, there's one more for the list of things we need to do.
So we're winding down here at the venue. Half the arena's been clear. Tables have been shipped off to new owners. Louis having 5 minutes because give his muscles a bit. 5 minutes to relax.
5 minutes to relax. That's a long break.
I know. How does he get a break?
I don't know.
Be docking his wages. Oh, that's funny.
Clint's making very light work of this as well. He's just going to stand up now for the one along the top rail, on the top right rail, and the yellow over the middle for the last ball.
Yeah, he just seems to have got his focus back again after a couple of wobbles. Must say, he was a little bit fortunate, but
yeah,
when he missed that clip, he went far too thin and then just fluked the one of the middle bag. But
yeah,
that's Paul, isn't it?
Yeah.
Try nominating that one in a skill shot. When they say you need to bring you need to nominate.
Yeah, pick the pocket. Yeah, that was a toughie. That. I expect we'll see that again somewhere.
Yeah. So great positional shot on the black. Straight in.
Moves 5-3 ahead, and I think Jason's got every right to be a little bit irritated with the way this match has gone so far. At 3-2, he was probably looking the stronger player, actually, and he hasn't done a huge amount wrong to go 5-3 behind. Two breaks on the trot. He's been kicked in off, and yeah, it's not happened for him yet, but he's shown his fighting qualities in the semi-finals, so he's still right in this match.
Absolutely, he was 7-4 down. Yeah, it is big in Australia. It's mainly world rules, I think, in Australia. So yeah, the thing about the gaps in the games, well, we've got a plan for that next year. So watch this space on that one. Not saying any more about that one.
So another dry break from Clint. The breaks haven't been kind to either player in this match, but certainly much worse on Jason so far.
If it went mainstream, would any pros be banned from playing for money? You never see a snooker darts money match with pros. Would that be a problem?
That's an interesting question. Don't really know the answer to that question.
I think if it went mainstream, they wouldn't have time for money matches. So
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
whether you would need to put a rule in place. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about protecting the brand. So you would probably have to discuss that with the sponsors, and because they wouldn't want their brand bringing into disrepute if there was a money game and a bit of trouble kicked off. So it's all about eliminating brand risk and reputation risk. So
there's probably a lot of variables in the answer to that question, I think, and certainly something that I'm sure would be discussed.
Depends what
Oh,
jeez, it's just getting
you can't believe it's gone through that gap. Well, great to see that one again as well. That's
what, in super slow-mo?
In super slow-mo, to see how that's gone in there. I'm going to write that down as an enforced error, and I feel really bad doing it because I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. Actually,
you didn't grab the white enough.
We will bring you a replay of that shortly.
My iPhone charger is garbage. Does anyone else have trouble with their iPhones charging them up? Right, rubbish. Great phone, but rubbish. Well, we've got the replacement tablet that's 88%. There's my live one. What's all that? You've got other stuff there. Where's the live one?
Don't know.
There. Right. Let's get some chat. Let's get some chat going, folks. Come on, you've only got us for about another half an hour. Make the most of it.
So Clint's got a great opportunity here. He just needs to develop the red and yellow at the bottom end, but he's going to pop the one to the bottom left, and it's just going to nudge the red, and that yellow's going to pop over the corner. A bit like that. Open run to the line.
When Poole was on Sky a few years ago, it was world rules, very boring and negative. Yes, I think it was. I mean, don't get me wrong, they were great players, but again, they tried to market it as snooker, and that's not Poole. You're never going to see a dart player wearing a waistcoat. So I think there's a little bit of people's perceptions and sponsors' perceptions of what the game's about. So you're sort of trying to undo all of that. But we're getting there. JV, John Vaughan, he's trying to get his cloth at his local club, but the problem is it's more expensive and he can't get them to do it. Well, yes, it is a little bit more expensive, but I think you also have to bear in mind you don't need an iron to have to iron it, and it'll last longer than the cheap stuff that you're putting on. So overall, it probably wouldn't cost you any more in the end. So maybe that's your argument, or your case for them to change it. And plus, it's got the spill guard on as well. And I don't know if you've seen any of some of the pictures on Facebook. I certainly saw one who'd spilt some black currant juice all over the cloth.
Yeah.
And they cleaned it up, dabbed it up, and it was as good as new.
Yeah, I've heard of a few, and it's always come out good. It's not one I want to test, but yeah.
So certainly for clubs, it is absolutely ideal. Less maintenance, and you get the long life and the consistent play. So big frame for Clint, that one.
So we're going to replay that in off from Jason.
Yep.
See what happens here.
It's just trying to glance off that yellow.
Yeah, you can see how it's... Oh, that's so unlucky. That really is unlucky. Before you watch that, you can't believe that could happen.
No. He's had a few unlucky matches.
It's really gone against him so far in this match, though. It's not been his match so far, but he's still, he's shown in the semi-finals. It can turn.
Here's one for you.
Oh dear.
Anoop Luchumumun. He's saying hello from Mauritius.
Oh, fantastic.
So I think, do we need to talk World Series?
Yeah, World Series in Mauritius would be nice. I think, if not... Yeah, I think we've got a volunteer for the streaming.
Who's that? Is that Tsunami?
Yeah, producer Dave has just... Producer Dave's just spoken in my ear saying that he's up for the streaming, so might reduce his rates for that one.
Right, Anoop. Any sponsors in Mauritius want to take us there?
I think if we don't go there for a World Series, we should certainly go there for the for a committee meeting.
For a committee meeting, definitely. Yeah. Is that before or after the Caribbean?
Yeah. Well, maybe. Maybe break it up. Go a couple of months after each other.
Yeah, that's a good point from James Laurie. If it did go mainstream, wouldn't exhibition tournaments kind of be a substitute for money matches?
Yeah,
I think
possibly.
That's a fair point.
I think once, if it ever went mainstream, if and when we get there, the players will have all sorts of extra revenue avenues to consider. It's not just going to be through prize money; they're going to make money. So, all sorts of things.
Plymouth asking me how much was Newcastle FC. Well, I'm not going to sort of give you the exact figure on here, but let's just say it was more than a few pounds.
Yeah.
But it was just something that we tried. And
we're not going back next year.
No.
To give a clue to what it was.
When you use a venue like that, Newcastle United football stadium in the town centre, but particularly doesn't have a hotel, you're always going to pay a room hire fee. So it was manageable, it was in the budget, so we planned for it. But the problem with Newcastle for us, or the main problem, was the access with the tables in and out. It just didn't work out very well. Nearly killed us, to be fair. But,
yeah, it was a tough. Oh, Jason's gone in off again. This time he has screwed straight in off. Not kicked in this time, but it's incredible. That's 5 breaks, and all 5 he's been 2 dry and 3 scratched in 5 breaks. We show you the replay now. You can see how he screws it straight into the corner this time. Yeah, I just didn't catch that one as he normally would. Not a great first shot from Clint. He was trying to do a lot with that first shot because it was a congested old table, because Jason didn't get the break particularly clean. Major problem here for him. Yellows are no real issue. It's the black that's the problem for him. I wonder if he can play the yellow. It's thin, but the yellow to the right middle now, and just come off the cushion and flick the black out.
So Plymouth Pool, he's busy today. Is there any reason why you continue to use hotels? Newcastle was great, having the freedom to stay where you want to was good too.
Oh, he's done it that way. Same idea, but using the bottom cushion rather than the side cushion, which is a great first shot. Now he's got a great chance. I think this next shot's really tight, actually. The top yellow of the 2. I think this is
on
tight.
camera 5.
Just flicked the other yellow first. But that's okay.
Bludgeoned it through, didn't he?
Yeah.
So we use hotels primarily so that we can use the function room, because like Newcastle, for example, you've got to pay a separate room hire charge. So that cost comes out of the pot of money. So we try to make sure every pound provides as much value as possible to everyone at the IPA. So just paying room hire charges, thousands of pounds, is not, in our opinion, the best use of that money. So we tried the Newcastle one as a one-off. Because obviously we realised we've got a very strong northeast contingent on the tour, but it really wasn't a sustainable one, unfortunately. Pardon? Yeah, can't even mention that one. David just pointing out that we tried Magna as well, and look what happened there. Oh, that's perfect.
He might be a little straight, because I don't think he can avoid the red that he's going to be queuing over, so he may not get to the black. Maybe he can just avoid it. It's tight. I'm right behind this. I'm right down the line of the shot. Yeah, just avoided it enough.
Gareth A, I presume that's Gareth Aries. He's saying evening, and don't know if anyone's on the stream. So there's the quick announcement that we made just before the profile that we're delighted to be using the Raka for the next couple of years, and working with the Raka.co.uk team. So that'll be a great addition to our events, ensuring that the guys are using the latest technology and the latest top gear.
Yep.
Announcement is now on the website, and it's there for you to read the press release. And if you want to check the guys out and see what the fuss is about, then the website is theraka.co.uk. So Gareth and Joshua, they'll be more than willing to answer any queries that you might have. Anoop says he would consider exhibition matches in Mauritius. Well, Anoop, you get on to the sponsors, and let's make it happen.
More than happy to come out.
Yeah, we'll stream it in glorious HD. Dave will be there with his £500,000 of cameras and lights, and
I'll take some shipping out there.
Can we do it on the beach?
Yeah.
You don't want to get sand in your controls, do you? Oh, it'll be fine, apparently. It'll be fine.
Okay, so Clint's coming up dry this time. A lot of dry breaks in this match. So it's now or never for Jason.
And Jimmy Clark, he's in tables, nearly killed him at Newcastle as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Jason, Jamie, we can't thank you enough for your help that you gave us, and Christian Phillips and Simon Ward. They even helped as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was carnage. It
wasn't much fun. So those of you that aren't aware, we were doing half a table at a time. We'd have to break the tables down completely. They wouldn't fit in a lift, so we had to. The slates went separate from the carcasses, and the legs had to be out, and a table at a time. It was
3 floors.
3 floors, yeah. It wasn't much fun. I actually rode the lift without leaving it for 2 or 3 hours. Helped lift the table in, helped lift the table out, and back down, and yeah, it wasn't much fun.
And then to stack them all up on pallets as well. That's not the end of it, is it? Just up and down the lift.
No.
But I've got a video on my phone. I'm going to put it on Facebook, and it's Mr. Secretary and Scott, our referee, pushing a slate from one end of the room to the other to the lift, and the length of the room was 100 yards.
Oh, so that's a good football pitch, wasn't it?
You try pushing a slate on carpet, on wheels, and well, that is hard work.
Yeah, it was a good workout.
It's funny. I'm going to put that on when I remember. So for our health and sanity, I think we couldn't go back there.
Yeah. Did you know, Kev, that I did all 19 slates for this event? Just thought I'd point that out just when my review of performance at the end of the year comes up.
Was that on your KPIs?
Yeah.
Oh, great shot.
Louis and I shared the 19. You? We did it all 19 together. It hurt.
So, why is the dress code for the World Championship long sleeve shirts, which is not usual in pool?
Well, I think the answer's in the question. It's a World Championship. It's the one event of the year. It's the most prestigious event. We don't want waistcoats, but we just think you just got to step the standard up just a little
It's
touch.
just something to step it, just a small thing an extra small thing to make it stand out from a normal tour event. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's not the only thing. There's plenty of things that are different, but it's.
Anoop, he says you're most welcome, smiley face, so leave it with you, Anoop. You sort those sponsors out and we'll be there. Can we go all inclusive?
Needs to go. Oh, I think he can still. He was trying to play for it in the left middle, but I think he can still snick this in the right middle, but it is super thin. He might even be able to play it off the other yellow, but then where's that other yellow going? That's the problem.
Fabian Moodley says, Kev, when you coming to South Africa again? When we going?
Oh, I didn't go. I didn't make the trip. I'd like to.
What a great place. As soon as possible, Fabian, that's the answer.
Great shot.
Wow,
Great shot.
Wow.
That's a brilliant shot.
But the hard work hasn't finished. He's got to play this with a lot of left-hand side.
I think he can just play this plain ball and just let it drift into... He's got a bit of margin in the middle of the table.
Yeah, possibly. Could just run on. If he ends up anywhere near the left rail, he's going to be snookered.
Yeah, I think he's got enough margin. He can just drop this in. Maybe play it twice across. Yeah, twice. Yeah, that's fine.
That's a good shot. That's a good shot. Yeah, we'd love to come back to South Africa. We do regularly talk with the guys, the people in charge over there. So it is on our radar. I don't think it will happen next year, although we have put proposals to various people. But I think more realistically it'll be 2019. But yeah, we'll definitely be back. Someone for you, Simon. Why no event in Llandudrod Wells anymore? Was a great event. It was great having an event local.
Well, it's local to whoever wrote the message. It wasn't local to many. The venue, that was one with a split arena, wasn't it? So we couldn't get the whole venue in one room. Wasn't ideal.
And we've grown since then, haven't we?
Yeah, there's more tables since then. Yeah, so we're it didn't really
just limited for space.
Yeah,
the most we could get, I think, was 16 tables. I think we got in that venue.
Yep.
We need space for minimum 22. So unfortunately, whilst we had a great time there, I think the mayor or the local dignitary came to have a look. But yeah, we've just unfortunately just a little bit too big. I do remember Shirtgate. Yeah, that's that was Jack Whelan and Clint Jansen who were playing. I don't think it was a final. Was
semi-final.
Yeah.
Semi-final, the Open. Yeah.
And Jack was cruising, 7-1 up, and he was asked to change his shirt because he didn't have a logo on. He went to change his shirt. He came back. And he lost 8-7.
Yeah, and he hasn't won a tournament since.
He's not spoke to us since.
Yeah, you've ruined him.
Yeah. Mwangi Patrick, he's watching from Kampala in Uganda. Excellent streaming. That's brilliant, Mwangi. Hope I'm saying that right.
What's the pool scene like out in Uganda?
It's massive. It is massive in Uganda. Jamie Clark, yep, Philly nearly broke his fingers, bless him, at Newcastle, carrying those slides. Dazza147 wants to know if sand in your controls, if that's a euphemism. So, whilst we've been rabbiting on, Clint Jansen is one frame from taking his third consecutive IPA title. That's some achievement.
It really is, yeah, really is. To win one a season is, well, to win one ever is impressive. To win one a season is impressive. And he's winning 3 on the trot.
So this could be...
This looks very much like it.
Yeah, Jason knows it. His great run. He's almost up. He's going to be really pleased. I know he's going to be disappointed to lose in the final, but you know, getting to a final in these is some achievement.
And he's perfect. Just has to drop this in.
And this straight in black for a remarkable 3rd title in 3 tour events. Clint Ianson is the champion. Well done, Clint Ianson. Great performance. So we'll just grab a few words with them, and that will be pretty much it from us.
Yeah.
We've all got to pack up and go home and relax.
Yes,
So,
and yes, and yes.
So I hope you've all enjoyed it. We've loved your questions and loved the chat and the banter, and
Yeah, we've got a couple of smaller events, the World Series, to bring you before the year's out, but the next major from us is going to be the World Championships, which is in February next year, and that will fly around, which will come around very, very quickly. Hope you've all enjoyed it, and hope you all tune in again next year.
yeah, a note from Mauritius. He said he just wanted to say before it ends, and hats off to you for this excellent stream, and keep it up. So yeah, that's about it from us. We're going to sign off quick. Well, the guys have just gone for a comfort break, so we'll just give them 2 minutes, and then we'll grab a quick word with them, and yeah, just hope you've all enjoyed it. It's been a busy old year. Hopefully the stream has kept you all entertained, and we've been treated to some great matches, and you know, I think it was all topped off last night, I think, with Ronan's victory, and that was something special last night, especially bearing in mind the circumstances behind, you know, what's happened back at home. So yeah, it's been a great year, and you know, we're going to be back with the World Series, like Simon said. We've got 3 World Series events coming up, so watch out on the Facebook page and IPA website for details on that, and details on the stream. And we'll be back at the end of January for the 5th World Championships that we've done. The 5th, yeah, at a new hotel in Bradford. So we'll see you all then. So thanks again, and see you all soon. Yeah. But you don't have to go yet, because we're going to do a quick chat with Clint and Jason. So, well, that was a great final, and a fitting end to a great season here at the IPA. And unlucky Jason, well done Clint. We'll just have a few words with the guys. Jason, a few unlucky in offs, the break as well. I mean, you must have been sick at some of those.
Yeah, unreal really. Yeah, I think at a point when it was sort of 50-50 game, we'd both had plenty of chances in first probably 6 frames, let's say. You know, the scores come in a lot different. But when it was sort of an even match, I got kicked in off after making a ball, got absolute roll-ins. And I think the next break I got kicked in off into the middle. The frame after that, I've somehow made my way through 3 balls to get to the corner pocket. It was just, I didn't know what would happen next, to be honest. Disappointing. That's by far the worst match I've played today. All weekend by a million miles. But just really disappointed, to be honest.
One person's bad luck is another person's good luck. You still got to take the opportunities when they come to you, Clint, and you were pretty clinical.
Yeah, you have got to take them, but I do feel a bit for Jay because the ad think was 3 and us were brutal. That completely turned the match. It put it like 6-3 to me, and it could have probably been maybe 5-4 or 6-3 to him maybe if he hadn't have gone off. So.
But a tremendous achievement. The last 3 tours you've won an event at each one. That takes some doing with the standard these days. You must be really proud and pleased of yourself.
Yeah, I'm over the moon. I won 2 tours. I think it was 2015. So I set myself to try and get 3 trophies this season, and I've done it. So I'm very, very happy.
And Jason, I know you're disappointed, but pleased with the day and your performances, and back to winning ways, I guess.
Yeah. Well, what allowed me to play good all weekend or today certainly was my break, and when I needed it most, and finally it let me down. So yeah, I'll come back fighting, but also disappointed. But yeah, again a good go.
And overall reflections of the season, been good, indifferent. How would you sum up your season?
Poor, very poor. I've not been. I feel like I've been playing well, but everybody's been playing, out the skin against me, which is, that's what this tour's about. You're playing the best players week in, week out type thing. But no, the guys I've been playing and beating me have been, just potting balls for lampshades, which is good to watch if you're not playing them but when you're playing them, it's a bit distraught. But yeah, it's been a bit of an up and down season, but nearly a good finish.
And Clint, so you're heading out to China to hopefully cause some damage over there. This sets you up nicely for that.
Yeah, sets me up with some spending money, I suppose, and fly out tomorrow. So need to get home quickly and get some sleep for about 4 hours, and then up and pack my case.
And what does that mean for next year then for you in terms of aspirations and expectations? How do you build on this?
It's going to be tough next year, I suppose, because I'm going to struggle to win 4, I think, but that'll probably be the goal, to try and get 4 trophies. So.
Well, guys, just want to thank you for a great final and great entertainment, and well done, Clint, unlucky Jason, and hopefully we'll see you back again next year to do it all over again. So well done, guys.
Cheers.
Well done. So that's the 2 finalists. Well done, Clint. So after 5 stops around the UK, that's about it from us this year. We'll be back in a few weeks in France with the World Series, and then we'll be heading up to Scotland and then to Norway later in the year. And then we start all over again at the end of January for the 2018 World Championships, where we'll be seeing the likes of Clint and Jason, who'll be looking to take the title home. So hope you've enjoyed the season, hope you've enjoyed the coverage, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks a lot.